This is Amara's wallet. She has a lot of money. And today we're going to try to send money from her wallet to any of these participants. Also, we're going to try to swap one of our tokens to any of these participants. And then lastly, we're going to check our balance to see what is left of her money. Hey Amara, can you transfer 3,000 USDT to Ugo's wallet? This is currently Ugo's wallet. He has 1,500 USDT. Let's see if she can actually and intelligently find out who Ugo is and send the money to his wallet. Awesome. Let's get a response.
Hey, I'm sending the crypto right away. Hey, the transaction was successful. Here is your transaction hash.
Awesome. Our transaction hash was given. I would open it up on AssetChain testnet, and we can see that 3,000 USDT was transferred to Ugo's wallet from Amara wallet. This is Amara wallet ending with 427, 427. This is Ugo's wallet ending with 65A, 65A. Awesome. Let's ask her to swap 1,000 USDT to USDC and send to Ada's wallet. So we're going to be swapping 1,000 USDC or 1,000 USDC to USDT and send it to Ada's wallet from Amara's wallet. So we're going to be swapping Amara's 1,000 USDT. We're going to be swapping from Amara's 70,761 USDC to Amara to Ada's own wallet. So let's do that. Hey Amara, can you help me swap 1,000 USDC to USDT sent to Ada's wallet? This is Ada, and she should be expecting USDT. We should see an increase in her balance.
Hey, I'm swapping the crypto right away. Hey, the transaction was successful. Here is your transaction hash.
Awesome. The USDC was swapped and we got 999 USDT added. We can check to see the transaction on AssetChain testnet. 1,000 USDC was swapped to get 999.57 USDT on Uniswap V3 pool, which is a pool deployed on Uniswap. Awesome. Lastly, we're going to ask her to fetch her own balance so we can see how much she has got. So looking at Amara's wallet, we can see that she has 69,761 USDC. Let's see if she can fetch the correct balance. Hey Amara, can you fetch your balance, USDC balance?
Hey, I'm fetching your account balance. Hey, my USDC balance is 69,760.
Okay, it's fetching the account balance as 69,760 instead of 61. And this is coming from the code where we floor decimals. we flood the decimal in the fetching of the balance. If you want to see how this code or this AI agent was built, and if this is exciting to you, jump on the train. Let's build something. All right, just like you've seen in the demo, we are going to be building an AI agent from scratch, and it's going to be exciting. It's not going to be a real-time code build. It's just going to be a code walkthrough. The goal is to like guide you through the code so that you can jump in and make your own creative modifications. It's not perfect, but it works. So if this sounds exciting to you, jump on. Let's code. All right. First thing first, we're going to be starting with the front end of the project. To start, you first of all need to go to my GitHub repo and like get the code URL. That's the GitHub URL for my code base. That's for the front end first. So to do that, we head over to the GitHub and you copy the URL. I'm going to include this in the description of the video, right? So after copying, you launch a new window of VS Code, right? After launching, you create a terminal and you git clone. Before creating a terminal, sorry, you need to create a new folder so that your stuff will be quite organized, right? So create your new folder. Create a new folder and call it whatever you want, AI approach, or whatever you want to call it. Open up this folder, create a new terminal. Create a new terminal. Don't mind this, I'm trying to deactivate conda used for Python and my own by EN3. So after you create a terminal, you paste the URL you have there and do git clone. That will clone the repo into the current project directory that you are in. But then if you don't want to have the project named because when you clone, it's going to have a project file coming with it. You just put a dot period and that will clone. So I already have this project with me in the local, so I don't need to go and clone again. So the next thing to do is actually to like let's get started. I'll basically open up the project I have at my local, right? So all right. So the next thing to do is I'm going to go to my app directory, and after going to my app directory, I'm going to try to run the project, right? So conda deactivates. So you have to do this so that my project will run on the main environment. So this is not going to be the same on your PC unless you're using Anaconda. Okay. So after you do conda deactivate, okay. So we move on, right? To run this project. First of all, after cloning from my GitHub repository, the next thing to do is actually to run yarn, which you have to do to install the packages that are already in the repo, right? So after doing that, I already have my packages in my repo, in my project, so I don't need to run yarn again. So the node modules are there, you understand? So the next thing to do is if you don't have yarn, right, you can still use npm or you install yarn. The command to install yarn is simple. You do npm install -g yarn, and that installs yarn for us, right? So after that, we need to start the project. To start this project, you run yarn def, just like it's specified in depending on what you're using. The main keyword is that to start the Vites project, because we're actually running a Vites project. Okay. Since we're running a Vites project, all we just need to do is to we need to run this project. To run this project, you run yarn dev and then enter to run the project to spin up a local version of this project. So it is given as a URL, local URL. We copy and go over to our browser and paste this local URL. So the moment we do that, the next thing to do is to wait for it to load. So when it loads, it's an empty background, and the reason why it's this way is because I decided to do this so that I'll be able to show you guys step by step the way things materialize when it comes to the front end part. So the first thing to do is we need an environment here, and to do that, all we just need to do is set up 3JS. Basically, we are using a 3D environment. So the first thing to do is to set up 3JS. And 3JS already, which is 3JS packages have been installed in the project directory. All we just need to do is to import elements and run it. So we go over to the app.js, right? And then to run 3JS, you need to import a canvas. After importing a canvas, you need to create a component instance of that canvas. When you do that, there won't be much difference on the project. It just acknowledges that there's a canvas there. So the next thing to do is we need an environment. So right now we have our environment. Let's go into the environment and see what inside the environment. So inside these environments, I will import it first. So inside these environments, we have a lot of things that it might be a little bit confusing, but then let's just go over them. So since you're importing an environment, let's see what happens. The importing environment, we have now a kind of a different layers, which is part of the core Barbara asset for the environment. So moving on, I'm going to start making some things active so you see how everything forms. So the first thing to do is we need a sky, right? So we need lighting. You might not see the lighting right now, but we need lighting. So the first thing to do is we activate lighting for the current project. So with lighting, you might not see any effect right now. So the next thing we need, we just like you saw from the demo, from the intro, there is a room that the AI agent Amara is in. So we need to make that room visible, and let's check out what that room entails or what it is. So going to the room, in the moment that I activate this room, next thing we see is this environment. Now currently I can't navigate this environment. The reason why I can't do that is because there isn't any like orbit controls. So I need to find a way to give my mouse the ability to actually be able to navigate the environment. To do that, we import something quite simple, camera controls. Camera controls are used to basically make a particular 3D environment quite navigatable. And if you notice, we cannot navigate and see what's inside this space, right? So you can see there is a chair, and basically is a room suspended on 3D space, right? So you can pan around with you can orbit around with the left mouse button. You can pan with the right mouse button. You can zoom with the middle scroll mouse, and you can scroll out with this middle scroll mouse. So that is that for the controls. So the next thing we need is the character for this particular event. So before the character, I want to show you guys how I got to come about this room. So this room is actually a modeled room in 3D software, and it is in a file format called .glb. If you go over our project, we're going to see two files here. One is model.transform.glb and room.modify.glb. These are models. I did not create this. These were models I got from examples in the documentation of 3JS, 3JX Fiber, React 3JS Fiber documentation for examples of projects that have been built with this particular file. So I'll go over the room and I'll show you guys what's happening here. So currently we're using room modify. But this room modify was one I tweaked myself in Blend. So that I'm going to give you guys a full picture of what's actually happening. So we have transforms. If I go to a project here, you could see that it's still the way it is. There is no difference, and all because for you to make any file work, you need to generate the corresponding React components for that file. So everything you see here currently is a representation of everything here. It's weird, but that's how it works. For example, let me see if I can see something I can grab. This is a mesh. If I comment this, it automatically means that this chair vanishes. So basically, React Fiber found that's 3JS actually. They found a way to render 3D objects in like as React components that you can easily control. And that is actually very, very awesome. So let's move on. So the next thing we do is I would uncomment this and I want to show you guys how we generate this. So to generate these, we use GLTFX2, but you don't need to stress. We have a website that does this quite simply. All you just need to do is drag and drop or just open up the particular file and you have your file generated. To do this, we head over to the site. The site is called gltf I'm going to import the other file that did not open properly because it was not well represented. So I'm going to click here, go to my folder, YouTube projects, enter Amara agent, Frontend, and then I'm going to click on public, which is actually where the will transform is. I'm going to open it, and the moment I open it up, the next thing you see is there is a 3D representation of everything I just did will come up here. And if we wait a little bit, we're going to see that here right now. So you see, this is a wing complete, and it looks very, very beautiful. But I had to modify it because I was having a little bit of an issue with where Amara was going to stay, and I wanted her to be like in the middle of the room. So I got rid of all these things you see here and left the other chair you see over there. So if I copy this, like this auto-generated file, I'll just copy the disk and replace it with what you see here. I cross my fingers and pray it works. The next thing you see is voila, nothing. There is an error, and we need to check what the error is. Okay, the error is coming from the fact that we are referencing the wrong file actually. So I need to go back here and put in transformed. Let's pray it works. Cross our fingers. Yep, it works. So we can see the table here. But this is not what we're going to be using for this. We're not going to be using this. We're going to be using something different, which is the other projects I showed you guys. So it's easy to actually like modify all the things you see here. All you just need to do is if you want to change something or you don't want it to show, all you just need to do is comment it out and it will not be there anymore. But this is a little bit too technical and hard to do. So what I normally do is I'll remove all this to take it back to the way it used to be. So that's bringing us back to the normal project, which is what we're going to be working with. A space where Amara can actually stand on, just like you saw from the video. If you want to go on and try to do like maybe make a change to the model that you're going to use, all you just need to do is install Blender, and I'm using Blender version 4.3. Install Blender, open it up. After opening it up, you need to just go over to the folder where your file is. To go to the file, click on import. The files you're working with are web files powered by WebGL, which are in GLB format. We click on them and then we go to documents. My files are in YouTube projects, AI agents, SLC, that's public models, and then we have the room transformed. So what I did was I forgot to delete the camera and the cube in the environments, but that's okay. What I did was I came around and selected all these projects, selected all these guys and just deleted the whole thing. And I left the seat you see here. And that was how I got that to happen. So that is that for this. I'll close Blender and then I won't save this. So now you probably have a full understanding of how this room came about. So the next thing we need to do is to add a little bit of aesthetics. So I'll go back to environments. I added some spheres, right? These are actually they came with the room. Let me show you where I got the model for this. When you go over to Ready Player Me, you go over to not Ready Player Me, you go over to play.js, right? You will see a particular project, and in that project they have examples of projects that has been done with 3JS where you can actually learn from. To be honest, the best way to learn is actually exploring projects that have been deployed. So you can actually go there and then open it up on Code Sandbox. The moment you do that, you will see the code for the environment, everything that made the environment the way it is. So it's kind of loading up, but this is where the model that you see me using is from. This is where the model is from, in case you are curious. So after doing that, yeah, you can see the environment here. After doing that, you just have to copy the code here and download this particular model and you're good to go. So I would quickly leave this project, right? And go back to our code. So the next thing to do is to enable aesthetics. I want the environment to look quite beautiful. So to do that, we add this is, and let's see the result of removing the comment. When we do that, we see these spherical substances that are quite in the background and they just look nice, giving it this Chinese, North Korean vibe. I don't know. So the next thing to do is we need to do something quite peculiar, which is adding the character. The character is quite simple to add. I'm just going to remove the comments on this. So after removing the comments, by the way, removing the comments with Ctrl/ for VS Code on Windows. So after doing that, we now have Amara here and a UI, which I will explain later. I'm going to show you guys how we fix animations. If you notice, the animation I gave, like idle animation looks like she's a zombie. She looks like someone that is in a terrible situation and needs a little bit of help. Okay, so now we will need to fix that too. So, and if you look at the environment compared to her, she looks miniature. I just made it that way to deviate these toys to revive. Well, let's continue. So, let's take a look at what this model is. So, the next phase is Ready Player Me. So, most of the models we use for this project, I used actually, or the one I use right now is from Ready Player Me. So Ready Player Me is a site where you can actually go and get 3D characters for free. You can even take a snapshot of yourself and get the representation of that on Ready Player Me. And after you're done, you could actually give it some aesthetics, clothing. You can change the face, change the eye. Maybe you want it to have a different feel or color, or you want it to have a different type of hair, or you want to change the lips, the way it's look. Like anything you want to do, you can. And the moment you're done, all you just need to do is click on next. After you click on next, you have to copy a link. This is a link to this particular model. You copy it up, right? After copy, you have to download it. Now, to download, you come here and you paste the download link. Before you download, there is an issue that comes with these particular modules. Let me show you. So, for example, in the model I showed you, I will show you now, in the one that we have right now, that's this particular model, Amara. She has got facial expressions. I will enable setup move. She has got facial expressions that you can play around with. You might not be seeing it in a really configure. So in essence, we actually need a way, a very, very sure way to like get the bones that control the faces, like the facial expressions of the character. So when we're downloading models from Really Player Me, we need to have this particular stuff in mind. Because if we don't have that in mind, we're going to have a lot of issues with facial bone control. So for example, now let me show you guys what I mean. So there is most players on Really Player Me websites are actually like VR compatible. So they have like a way to actually do facial expression. And not just that, you can desync just like Unreal Engine meta humans are, right? So I'm going to show you guys what I mean. So if you look at the screen, you can see that I can actually control Amara's facial expression just by toggling these means you see here right now. So these means are actually how you do talk, like basically you have phones set up to actually like control the way you talk. Like every lip movement you make are control the business, right? So like everything. So from this you can actually like give yourself the setup of how you want um to make some speech. And that is where the lip sync where you saw earlier from the intro, that's where you see it in action. Is where you see how it was like brought into existence, So this is just the things we could do by playing around with this. So before I continue, I want to give credit to Wawa Sensei. His YouTube channel actually helped shape my mind to building this. Most of the inspirations I have for the way this project is right now is through his videos. So I'm going to link his video channel, his YouTube channel on the description in case you want to go and see more of this kind of thing. It's Frontend wise, right? That's for 3 years. It's basically kind of like most of his videos are mostly on 3 years stuff. So the next thing to do is so to get this business, because you don't use that, we're not going to get this business. To get this business, we're going to download. Let's go to the documentation. So under the documentation, if I want to download a model, which is like the URL we copied earlier, and I want to have those new things, all I just need to do is add this particular param to the URL, and I will have that. So I should add this param where I have AR kit and Oculus business. When I add that, and I can actually guess the model that I want. So if I want to download the model, all I just need to do is copy this, and remember we have the model open. Sorry, we have the model open. So I'm going to create a new tab. Okay, I already created a tab for that. So I'm going to paste this AR kit and Oculus business, and I'll press download. That's just click to enter kind of, and you see that it has given me a new model in GL with GL format. For me to use this guy now, I have to actually go back to that website where we had that guy, where we had this made. I'm going to just reload, and then I will click on this, and I will go to my downloads and open up this model. And if you can see, you see that the model is here right now. So I'm going to like, just to show you guys how I brought the other model to life, I'm going to replace the JSX component representation of the model above with the new one. The moment I do that, let's see what we get. An error, okay? And what's the error? Hidden geometry as character. Cannot use the underlying geometry as character. You can't read the okay. The reason why I can't is we need to import that guy that we just downloaded. So The reason why we leave these random IDs is you can actually copy this ID, go back to, for example, now I can copy this um, AID here, go back to our Ready Player Me character, replace it with this, and I can actually edit the character. That's the Llama. Again, that's how beautiful it is. Okay, it's saying it can't find my character, which is weird. Okay, I am missing. I did not put the complete URL. Let me go back and do that again. So I need to really copy it and then come back and paste. So the moment I do that, I should see, okay, if it can't find my character, that's crazy. Okay, it can't find my character. But initially, when I do that, I actually see my character. Probably the lead characters, like the character ID, for some, like I've not gone to the site for some days now, so that might be the reason. But you should be able to like access those characters with that ID. So I will quickly go to my downloads, copy um copy this character, and then go to our project and open up the model. After opening up the model, I'll paste it. And then I'll just quickly copy the ID, go back to our file, paste, because it's not having the updated version of the model we have. I'll copy it again because I actually like click on copy and paste for his get fold. Yeah. So when we do that, let's see if the error has been fixed. Okay, I'm still having the error. Cannot report this when if I really reset. Okay, where will I be having issues with resets? Let me make sure I'm copying the correct. Okay. Okay, something is wrong. It's okay. See, this is one of those issues I talked about. So let's see. Okay, so the error is actually coming from, you see, it's undefined. So what it's saying here that's at character 61. So when I go to character 61, um okay, so the animations, it's trying to play the animations from actions, right? So character 61 is it's basically saying that the reset is undefined. Let's check action. So action is coming from the animation, and it has a group which is coming from the use ref. So basically when we were importing the character that we just pasted now, the character code, we did not add the ref that's supposed to come with it. So it has a ref. It has a ref. And the moment I add the ref, which will give us access to this core component here, the moment I add the ref, that's for this group, the next thing I say is it should work. Yeah, it works. So it's DeFi, man. DeFi, come on. So I'm able to get this lady here working. Okay. So the next thing to do is to like go through and see how so all this things happen because we're able to like download we're able to download like with that particular param, that's the morph targets, AR kit, and business. So right, to just to check that the morph targets are working. Let me make sure it's working. Okay. Okay. So I'm going to try to make her smile just like we did. You see, the facial expression works quite well. See, it's working. It's beautiful. Okay. So we can make her like we can let's see this guy. Ha. So we can actually like control her facial expression, which is awesome, which is nice. So next thing we do is we move on to um, you know, we need a UI. All right. You need a UI. Or before that, let's go in and see how the character file works. So basically, we have our animation. So most of the animation you see from this place, the animation you see. So we have animation there. Most of these animations are from the animation file. I'm going to show you how we got to make these animations. So we got this animation. So the next thing we do is we get animations, right? So we got these animations from Mixamo. So I'm going to open up Mixamo shortly. Click on Mixamo. So this is Mixamo. And this is where we get our animations from. So I'm just going to quickly sign in. So I'm in Mixamo right now. I need to get animations. So let's say, for example, the talking animation that you saw. So basically, from example, we can get animations for characters, just like you see here, and we can like basically like add that to our project. So to make that happen, first of all, we need to import this character into Midsummer so that we can have it here with a character that has our bones. So with that, I'm going to open up Blender. I'm going to open up Blender and I'm going to import. I'll delete everything here on the scene. After deleting, I'm going to import our character. So remember the character is in FGLB. I go to my B2 project and then visit and our agent, SRC, and we're in public models. I remember the new model we downloaded is the one that ends with 23D. I'll open it up. And this is our model in all her mice and glory. So this Blender, I'm actually using the middle mouse button and shift to like pan. Like I use the middle mouse button without the shift to orbit. So yeah. So I'm going to export this young lady I'm going to export her out to FBX because if you go back to Mixamo, Mixamo needs the files that you're uploading to be in FBX format. So you need to export it to FBX. We'll go back to Blender and I'll just click on, I'll just name the character Amara. And then make sure it's in the right place. I'll put it in downloads. Okay, I already have a file. Just click my desktop and then I'll export. I'll go back to Mixamo, select the character, go to desktop and import the lady. She's needed. So let's wait for it to import. After importing, okay, wait for the import. So after importing, we now have a character. I don't know, but most times when I import this character, I see this separate object here. I don't know why, but let me know if you guys experience the same issue. So I'm going to do next. Okay, so this is the character. Now she's already like having animations of the animations you see over there. So there is this animation that is playing here right now, which is the talking animation. I'm going to simply try to import the talking animation. So the DC is it should be here, right? Let me search for it so that we can use that so that you guys can like understand what's going on. Okay, yeah, so this is an animation, talking animation. I think it's imported here. So I'm going to quickly go to like click on talking tree. Okay, that's not it. token 1. Yeah, exactly. So we have the animation, and this is the animation actually. So to export this, we click on download. We download without skin, and I'll show you where we're going to do that in a moment. We download without skin. After we download, we will have the particular animation in our downloads. So since we now have the animation, we don't need this anymore. We are going to create a new project. We don't save actually, so we don't need to. And then I'm going to import the animation we just created, which should be in FBX format. So it should be in our download, right? Okay, it's called talking. So, so once we import, see, we don't need the mesh of that particular model. All we just need is the bone for that model. We play it and let's see if it's the same animation. Okay, you can see that it's same animation. All right. So to create a bunch of those animations that we have, all we just need to do is we drag this bar up, go over to the dope sheets. A card is selected. We go over to dope sheets, visit the action editor, then push this guy down. We made a mistake, so I'll Control Z and let's name it. So this way you have already named the animation. Let's name it an talking animation 4. So after that, we'll push down. We go to the non-linear animator. There's non-linear animation. We can see our animation here as a track. So all these tracks are available. That's what's available here. That's what you can see here. So the way I added that, we can actually add another animation, and I'm going to show you how to do that. So we add another animation. Let me do that quickly. We'll go back to Mixamo. Let's select another animation. Let's select another token animation because that's what we need to do basically. So let's select this. No, not this. Let's just check this out. So I'll click on download and I'll download without skin. After downloading, we have our talking tree there. So I'm going to still go back and import it. It's FBX. So I'm going to go back and import the talking tree. If you notice, we now have 2 amateurs. We don't need that, so we delete it. Don't worry, I'll show you how to get the animation. But when we delete, we lose that animation we had before. Go back to dope sheets. On action editor, select that amateur. Click on these 3 dots here, which represents the dope sheet. Now this is that animation we just added. We select it and then we name it to token 4. Token 5, sorry. So the moment I do that, all I have to do is just push it down and we're going to go to your exports and export it as a GLB file this time. We go to our documents where our project is, the front end of the project, the public models. Now remember, we have an animation file here. So we'll just add another one. Let's call it animation 2. Animations 2, right? And I will export. So after exporting, we now have the animation in our project. I open up our project and we have it here. I'm going to copy the name of that particular animation. Go back to our character file. Let me close other tabs. Go back to our character file and just replace. And also replace it in the preload tab. The moment we do that, we should have the animation available. Nice. So we only have 2 animations. Now just remember, the 2 animations we have, we got them here. So yeah, this is how to actually add the animation for our character. So I'm going to just revert back to our old animation, because that is where all the stuff we're using is, and all the animation we programmed in the back end is. And so after doing that, yeah, another thing again is I don't like the way the idol is. So um the idol for this, the idol looks like they are having an issue. Like, like see what I mean? Let me reload. So if you check in, you see the idol for this. See, they look like they like, come on, man. Like, I don't think any agents should look like this. So I'm going to do funnel idol. And let's see. I don't know. Let's see the one we can go. Um okay. So let's see this. Okay, then you reload the page, says our character is freezing. So I'm going to select the standing idol. Okay, this looks nice. I like the way it is. It's more natural, right? So I'm going to download it. I'm going to download it without skin. I'll go back to Blender. I'll create a new file. I won't save this one. Our files are saved already. I'll delete. I want to import the main animation file we're using just to replace that idol. So I'm going to import a GLTF file. As I import that, I'm going to go to where the project is, and then I'm going to import. So the moment I import, everything that we've done will be there, which is awesome. So I'll quickly go to my NLA editor. So I can see a lot of tracks there that doesn't make sense here. So I'm going to delete most of the tracks. There are some tracks that are duplicates, so I don't like it. I'm going to delete them. We'll delete the tracks that are duplicates that have this O1 prefix to it. So after deleting that, next thing we need to do is, remember we downloaded a model, an animation. So I'm going to go and import it. I'm going to import it. Remember, it's in FBX format. It's in our downloads. That should be standing idle, if I'm not mistaken. So we have it here now. It came with its own armature, and we don't need the extra armature. So we're going to delete it. And then I'm going to go back to Doshi just like we did previously. Go to Action Editor, select our young brother here, and then add the animation. You can see it there. Change it to idle. Change it to idle. And push it down. Go back to our NLA editor, non-linear editor. We now have the idle tab here. Remember, we already have an idle initially. I'm going to delete that so that we work with the one we have right now. So I try to play, let's see. So this is our idle right now. So I'm okay and comfortable with the results. So I'm going to export as a GLB. I'll go to my project and I will name it animation to override the one we had basically. So I will export, and that should do the trick. So if we come back to our projects, go back to Amara, I'll reload. We still have our file, which is bad. So it seems we have really little problem. So sorry, I'm going to export the file secretly. I'm going to, okay, it's still exporting basically. It's still exporting. So it just exported right now. My bad. So it was still exporting till the time we're talking. So it was still exporting now. You can see that the animation has come up and yeah. So it's all looking good. All right. So that's for the animation. So the next thing we need to look at is um we're going to the server. But before that, we just go over the code, what happens in the code. So we now have the animation, and under the animation we have like a way to set our blinking left and blinking right. So we have to separate them because if you want the character to blink, oh, she's wearing the glass. Okay, we give her an eye gesture. So if you notice from the glasses, she's winking, right? He's winking. So we needed to handle the winking of the particular project so that it doesn't affect, like it doesn't affect the other facial expressions because one thing with eye animation is it's always happening, so it doesn't look weird. You have to blink, and when you blink, you don't have to speak or move your mouth. So we have to handle that differently. So that's where you see that we have a function that sets like the animations for us, also set valid animations for us. We also have a function in which where we set the animations we have, the animations we see playing around. Whenever the animation use state is changed, um, it sets the animation for us. We have a use effect. In this use effect, we're going to be going through the expression when it gets into the server part. This is where our messaging happen. Whenever the server, the LLM, is trying to communicate with the front end, this is where the message is being gotten. Now, to get this quite clearly, we have a hook. Inside the hook, we have this use missing API. It's a custom hook using React context that I created. And what it does is simply fetch our front end, that's fetch the backend, that's data from the backend, and then return it as data that we can actually play in it. So that is that for a messaging API. So you could actually go through the code. I don't have to. There's a lot here, so I don't bore you. We'll go through the code and understand what happens. Yeah. So this is how we move our target, the facial bones. So basically, we use pre.js. Um, um, we use the seed, which is the material, the bones. Basically, is like a way to access the bones to actually like move these characters, right? This is the way to move the characters. So we use the function provided by this particular by 3JS, that's 3JS fiber, to actually move the bones we have. So these are all the bones that we have. All right. So looking at that, you could go through and see how it works currently. Yeah. So where should I bring your attention to? Okay. So yeah, that is how it works. Then the controls, you see a UI here. This UI is coming from Leva. I will comment it also. You see what I mean. So if I comment this, you will cease to see the UI. It's giving me an error. But what happens is this UI is coming from Leva. Leva is a framework that helps us control um, this thing, that's 3GS, like components in 3GS. So it's not like the normal like UI components you have in React. So Leva helps us control all those things. It helps us set the the proper state and the proper context for that. So that's what Leva does. And actually, we can we can actually get rid of it, like hide it by going to the app.js. I already imported that. Or you just need to use change this to true, and it should not exist anymore. So yeah, that's how it goes. Okay, all right. So looking at this now, I think we're ready for a backend. But before that, you need to you need our UI. So I'm going to remove the comment from the UI, and we should see a UI. All right. So basically, a concept for our UI is we want to be able to communicate to these AI agents. It's just voice. We don't want anything that is not voice, to be honest. That is the goal, basically. So this is actually a way to solve the user experience in crypto. That's the goal. We don't need to go and click on any button. You just need to say what you want. Like say it and it comes to pass, basically. So that is actually the goal here. So currently I added a microphone that you can actually use to communicate with the like to record your voice and send your voice as base 64 to the backend. So I'll just go through the code. So we have um our backend code here, our chat UI code. Here is the components for the recording. So basically, what we did here is quite simple. Basically, we're trying to get the audio results of my laptop or my system, basically. So to do that, we initialize audio, just like we're doing here. And then after initializing audio, we get the user permission. That's what this line does. And after getting user permission, we can now start recording. To record, we just call record the start recording. That's the recorder we already set. Sorry. So to record, all we just need to do is to set recording to true. So the way this is set is it will keep recording until the recorder is false, basically. And to stop recording, all you just need to do is set recording to false, and that will stop the recording. We're getting the recorder from this particular object we said. So this is recorder TC. You get their you can find their documentation on online. So recorder TC is actually a library you can use to basically record stuff. It helps abstract out the recording of videos or audio on your PC or mobile. Like when it comes to web, basically that's what it does. So this is where all the code for recording comes from. After that, we render out the microphone. After recording the microphone, we're done.